La aventura llama a los héroes en Disney Plus con el regreso de Percy Jackson y los dioses del Olimpo, que acaba de estrenar su segunda temporada adaptando la novela El mar de los monstruos. Con el autor de la saga, Rick Riordan, y con los protagonistas y showrunners de la nueva temporada, hemos tenido ocasión de charlar durante su visita a Madrid y nos han puesto los dientes largos de cara al futuro de la serie. Esto es lo que nos han contado.
Yep. I saw him on the way to a museum.
Nice.
He's awesome. A little bit. They're having a little rough time, but I think I don't know. It depends. I think you can really. I think it's you know, how do you explain it? It's like you either really don't trust someone or you really do. And I think, especially when you're on a quest with somebody, like, you know, this is life or death, and a lot of times, like, you kind of learn who your real friends are really fast. And I feel like Percy really learned who his real friends are. Mm-hmm. So I feel like, yeah, he can definitely trust both of them. I think it's more that Percy doesn't trust Annabeth in what she's saying. I don't think Percy ever really feels like she's not gonna be there for him when he needs her. Mm-hmm. But I think, you know, I think he knows that she's not telling him everything because she doesn't trust him to handle the information, I guess.
Yeah, basically what he said. I think that Annabeth has to face a lot of her past this season, which she didn't have to do as much last season. It caused her to just stay on track and stay the stubborn person and just stay that, you know, like, I know I'm right and all of that. But in the second season, she encounters more of a more of a climax of, like, how she's changed, if that makes sense. I'm trying to figure out, like, that sounds like a huge filler word, but, like, I'm trying to, like, she was here and now she's, like, up here. But I feel like she has two different sides. Oh, hear me out.
She hits a point where she has to make a decision.
Exactly, but she can't fall. Hear me out. Annabeth has two different sides of her. It's not like she's coming from here and then going up and then down. Annabeth has two different sides of her, and they're both meeting at the top. And they're trying to balance out to fall, but she can't. So she's just stuck at this part of, like, this, in the season, of, like, this emotional climax on the top of this mountain, but she can't fall. And it's like she can't be relieved. She can't be like, oh, finally, you know what I'm saying? Because she thought she knew something, and then later on she finds out that that might have not been the exact truth. You know what I'm saying? So I think, does that answer the question? I hope, like, hopefully, yeah.
As much as I hate to admit it, yeah, it was. I mean, like, I knew I wasn't going to be in this season as much. And it was, if anything, it was not worse, but it just compounded because Walker and I are, like, next door neighbors. And so whenever we, like, went to the gym, I would, like, hear about his day, or, you know, I would hear about what working had been like. And I only ever saw him during the nighttime, like, after 6. Yeah. And, like, I never ever saw him during the day. So there was...
I started to believe that he was just, like, a figment of my...
Imagine, I thought you were just a figment of my... I thought I was, like, going insane, and I was just, like, dreaming you up.
Yeah.
It's given that one scene in the basement where the Gumball, where they were finally, Darwin gets... it's in the new, like Wonderfully Weird something, but basically it's where Darwin gets a room downstairs and they're not in the same room anymore. And Gumball has
they don't have the bunk
heart
beds?
attack. No, they do. They do, but it's just an episode.
Sorry, keep going.
Oh, what I do know is that basically it's just like a little episode basically where Darwin, like, they make his own little room downstairs in the basement, and Gumball has a heart attack. Like, he's trying to figure out how to call them, and then, like, the mother's like, you know what? I'm taking your phones away, and then he takes the phones away, and Gumball just tries to figure out every way that he can just, like, try to get down there. I think it's like them, you know what I'm saying?
It
like,
wasn't dissimilar from that.
No, I didn't know you have a statue. Yeah, I need to go. Thank you. Yes. I think the second season, I think we always have to have some changes, because taking a book and making it to the screen, it's a different medium, it's a different language, and so some changes are unavoidable. But my hope is that the spirit of the books, the sense of humor, the voice, that is recognizable to fans of the books, and that it feels like Percy Jackson to them. I think that was the problem with the movies, is that it did not feel like the same story. The characters they started so much older, and it was more of an action film. It didn't have the same sense of like coming of age, like turning from a child into an adult and becoming a hero. And that's the core of Percy Jackson. So I think in the TV series, we do have that, and that has made a great difference. I'm very proud of the actors and how they have recreated the roles, especially of Tyson, the Cyclops, and Clarice, the daughter of Ares. I think, in fact, I like the characters in the TV show better than in the books as I originally wrote them. They have more sympathy, they have more depth to them, and the actors are simply so good that I enjoy watching them create those characters again. Right, that's always the trick, isn't it? To find the special ingredient in the recipe. I'm not sure, but I think for me, it was learning to tell the story that I had to tell, that I needed to tell. And it began when I told Percy Jackson to my son as a bedtime story. He needed that story because, like Percy, he had learning differences, and he needed a new myth to feel better about who he was. Because of that, I think this book, The Lightning Thief, El Ladrón del Rayo, was more personal, more powerful for me and for my son, and that was the secret to the success, I think. We haven't talked about that yet because the series are in order, they're chronological. It would be necessary to finish the first books first. And I don't think anyone is prepared to talk about more books, including me, yet. If we can only get the 5 seasons, that would be amazing. As you know, most television series never get that far. They don't get 5 seasons. So if we get 5, fantastic. If then it's still going strong and they want to talk about that, fantastic. I will be happy to do so, but that's probably several years away.
You know, I think a lot of it had to do with understanding backstory and understanding what she genuinely went through in her life. You are right that she really blossoms and grows, and we get to see her grow this season, which I think is really cool. She doesn't show up and is a changed person. We get to watch her change. Yeah, a lot of the preparation for it just came down to really trying to understand her psyche and what she had gone through in her life in relation to her parents and her interpersonal relationships to make her act the way that she does.
Honestly, it was super easy. I think, again, being able to go into a team that's super tight-knit and really comfortable with each other allows them to kind of be a little bit more open-minded on when other people join in. I think if they were a bit more of a mess, then it would have been more difficult, because then I think your guard's up already, and so you're kind of more nervous about new people rather than excited about new people. And so the fact that they were all friends ahead of time actually made it a lot easier for me to join.
That's good to know.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's complicated. It's complicated because, you know, it's sort of my job to really understand Luke to his core, and inevitably, like I feel like, and our acting coach Andrew always says this, like you share a nervous system with your character, and so I truly like understand that Luke makes some very valid points, and his intentions are just and good, and like I think he has the right mindset, but when it comes to particularly like Luke in the books, I feel like it becomes a bit more tricky, because he you know, he does some kind of unforgivable things in the books and even in the show, and I think, yeah, no, but I do think it really depends on the situation, you know, and Luke's personal situation. He's lived a very rough life, and I think a lot of it is personal for him, particularly his relationship with his father, who has just never really been there for him, like he's just gained nothing from this world. And all the people he's loved, he's kind of lost because of this world, and so he is just trying to do what he believes is right, you know, and we see that in the show, and you know, I got to give the flowers to the writers for really fleshing him out in a super complex way.
Yeah.
I think that it's definitely a risk to go sail off the map and into more fantastical places, that you risk losing that connection, that these are real kids, and you have that great mix of like the magic hiding behind the real world. But I think thankfully the actors bring the real from their world into that fantastic realm, and so they're able to react to these, you know, crazy places with pretty practical, real world, real kid energy. And so I think that's what helps us navigate that.
Yeah. I mean, horses and kids and chariots and high speed, and I think that was certainly, I think, in terms of what could go wrong, the most complicated and the scariest.
So the race is in a practice style.
It's all practical. Yeah,
Wow.
there's that is
Real horses.
real
Real
kids,
chariots.
real track. Yeah.
Yeah, real kids are bad. Real horses.
And nobody was hurt in the making of.
That's good.
Yeah. I think it's the way that that it's sort of like the world should know, like these fans come with they follow the author, you know, and they want to know that there's a measure of authenticity, you know, coming, a stamp of approval that follows their favorite books to the screen. So why would you not want that source?
Yeah. And especially when you're adapting something, you know, it's nice to be able to be with the author and talk about changes, see the changes he wants to make, as well as that we feel like need to be made for a broad audience. Because we really wanted this show, even though it was written for middle grade readers, we wanted this show to be for everyone. And so a lot of the adaptation really builds on the fact that we want this to have access points for all different ages. I mean, we're so in it right now, and we still have many more seasons to go.
I mean, the Trials of Apollo.
Yeah,
and
Heroes of Olympus. Yeah, I mean, look, we've so loved making this show and giving it our all, and it would be, you know, we would love to see
And to
this.
make sure this works all the
Yeah.
way, that everything, if there's anything else that comes, it's standing on a very solid
Yeah.
foundation.
Recuerda que Percy Jackson y los dioses del Olimpo estrenan nuevos episodios cada miércoles en Disney Plus. Y si quieres estar al día sobre videojuegos, cine y series, no olvides darle a like y suscribirte al canal de Hobby Consolas.
O la ira de Zeus caerá sobre ti.